So I found an interesting resource that I wanted to share. I'm not going to name the resource as I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but it appears to be a very high-end private security organization, and they've got some great advice on how to survive, how to deal with situations of riots, civil unrest, demonstrations, and what to do if one happens to break out. So surviving those situations. And I will say personally, I worked in downtown Chicago for a long time, and I actually walked through a lot of protests, demonstrations, occupations, and whatnot. So I can relate to some of this advice, right? But I wanted to share it since most people can't afford their own private security firm, and unfortunately because of that, some of these suggestions won't be of much use, but there is some good information here, and you may find yourself in a situation where there is a civil unrest, where there is a riot, where there is something like that, and unfortunately you have to survive that situation, right? I'm trying to speak in generalities here, any kind of insurrection, and if you choose to participate, certainly do so at your own risk. I'm not advising participation in any of those kind of situations, but let's jump into it a little bit here, lean into it, right? Civil unrest can range from small organized rallies to large-scale demonstrations and rioting. It is rare that travelers or expatriates are directly targeted unless they work at or engage with business or government entities that is direct cause of the unrest. People may also be harmed simply by being in the wrong place at the wrong time, wearing or standing out differently to the demonstrators, and certainly that is a possibility, whether you're directly involved or just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, wearing the wrong clothes. Certainly could get pulled in, right? And this does give some advice on what to do. I remember I grew up in Southern California, and if you wore the wrong colors, you might be misinterpreted for being in the wrong gang, in the wrong place at the wrong time, right? So this does say the most effective way to reduce your vulnerability is to monitor the environment for public calls to action, avoid areas where people have gathered to grieve their issues. Even peaceful rallies can spur violence or be met with an aggressive security response. Bystanders may be arrested or harmed by security forces using water cannons, tear gas, rubber bullets, or other crowd control measures. In certain jurisdictions, illegal for foreign nationals to participate in political demonstrations. Foreign national part may not be as relevant. I think this is referring more to people traveling to other countries. We have plenty of that here now. No need to travel to other countries if you're interested in civil unrest. We have that here. So pre-departure, to mitigate the risk of potential civil unrest to the location you're visiting, following recommendations are provided. Research. So this applies really to everyone anywhere. Gather information on the current situation of the location you're visiting. I would say living in, right? Understand the area around you. Follow local developments by monitoring media reporting and consulting the information made available by your foreign ministry or equivalent. No foreign ministry or equivalent here, but certainly keep an eye on places where there might be civil unrest. There's a lot of that right now and may continue and escalate, right? Should you be traveling to a country with an unstable social climate like America, be sure to contact your embassy and inform them of your whereabouts. Not so much on the second part. All right, we'll keep going. Security support. If you had it, engage your organization's security manager, who may be able to provide information on the location you're visiting and may be able to provide with organizational guidelines, security policies, right? We don't really have that, right? You're not going to have security support unless you happen to be able to afford a private security company. And of course, the next one, insurance, before travel is booked. Inquired from your corporate insurance as whether they have any recommendations or procedures you must follow. Ensure The insurance is suitable to cover any aspects of your travel destination itinerary. We have spoken about self-defense insurance, and I would certainly recommend that. U.S. Law Shield, Texas Law Shield might cover you in the event that something happens and you're forced to defend yourself. So that is something you can take away. You may not have a private security force, but you could certainly look at insurance. Not a bad idea. So daily routine. Once again, not a bad idea here. Once you've arrived in your location, familiarize yourself with a map and make a note of local police stations, hospitals, embassy, your hotel and meeting locations, routes to the airport, government buildings of interest. So takeaway on that is it is a good idea to know how to get to the hospital, where the police stations are, and things like that. You should have at least a basic knowledge of what's around you, emergency services, fire department, and you may also want to record their phone numbers beyond just 911. We had the 911 outage, but you were probably still able to call the sheriff, the police department, the fire department directly. It was 911 that was down, but in the event that you can't necessarily just Google it, right, that would be your first option. Having the number is probably not a bad idea, right? If you do not have security assigned to you, which most people won't, ask your hotel staff about known hotspots and locations. Once again, relating that back to maybe daily life is just keep an eye on it. Right, guys, there's a lot of stuff going on, so know what's around you. Now this is good. It's recommended to dress down and maintain a low profile to avoid standing out in public. Carry a copy of your travel documents, passport, visa, driver's license, and contact numbers for your company's point of contact, local embassy, security, all that kind of stuff. We kind of already hit on that. It is a good idea to have those kind of numbers available. Don't just rely on your cell phone. Don't just rely on 911 if you lost your cell phone. Do you even have any other numbers written down, right? So not a bad idea. Of course, request updates from your security provider. We're not going to have that. Actions to be taken. So on occasion, demonstrators have worn the same garment, color, or symbol to show a united common cause. Examples of this are the French yellow vest protests in 2018. The Thai protesters wore yellow shirts, while during post-election protests in Iran, opposition demonstrators wore items in green, scarves and bracelets. Pay attention to such differentiations and make sure that you're addressed in a neutral manner. So if everyone's wearing red shirts in the protest, you might not want to wear a red shirt in that sense unless you're actively involved, as you might be misconstrued as being actively involved. And once again, any participation in anything like that is on you and not the focus of this video. Not judging. Before leaving your accommodation, this is a good idea. Accommodation for most of us being your house or your home or your apartment, whatever you want to call it, your home, your trailer. Check local media, your company's security platform, local embassy or consulate for reports of demonstration rallies, and stay away from those areas. Right, not a bad idea. Know what's going on around you. Are there demonstrations, protests in the area? Speak to prearranged security for any rumors, street gossip, or unplanned gatherings. Once again, you probably don't have that private security force. I know I don't. But rumors, gossip, anything like that, certainly good to keep aware of. Ensure your phone is fully charged. You have copies of travel documents, emergency contact numbers. Not a bad idea. You don't want your cell phone going out on you. Inform your security. You're leaving the accommodations. Allow yourself plenty of time to arrive at your planned location. Avoid locations where police and security forces are conducting operations. All good ideas. Stay away. Stay awake. Stay alert. Keep your phone charged. Stay away from the bad stuff. If you're caught up, and this is kind of important, right? If you're caught up in a demonstration when you're driving, and this happens to people, you see it all the time. If you see a gathering, rally, demonstration ahead of you, turn off the road as soon as possible, but ensure the road is not a dead end and you're able to maneuver around the gathering safely. So if you're driving, you see it up ahead, stop. Stop, don't drive into it. If you're unexpectedly turn a corner and find yourself amongst demonstrators, to remain calm, ensure your doors are locked, keep your vehicle revs low, speed down as to not draw any more tension than you already have, right? Which happens, you see that all the time. People get caught in a demonstration. Quickly assess the best direction, side street to head to, as so to remove yourself from the area. Do not drive through a crowd. Obviously, don't run people over. That is certainly good advice. If you're unable to drive away, it is recommended to park the vehicle, lock the car, and leave it. Take shelter in the nearest safe location. See videos of people getting attacked in their cars getting attacked, running through crowds, trying to escape. Essentially saying don't do any of that. Try to keep a low profile. If you can't get out of the car, look for somewhere safe. If the crowd is upon you quicker than you anticipated, stop to the side, switch off the engine, lock the doors, remain calm. Certainly panic would not help, right? If you're walking outside, remain calm. The demonstrators do not know who you are and will believe you are part of the protest. Be confident. Don't draw attention to yourself. And I saw a lot of this, as I said, just working downtown Chicago, trying to get home, having to walk through demonstrations, having to walk through protest occupations and all that stuff. Stay calm, keep a low key, right? Walk with them, remain discreet, slowly move to the edge of the crowd, stay away from the aggressors, look for a safe exit from the crowd, slowly walk away, don't run. This will bring attention to yourself. If you're caught up in a dense crowd, stay away from glass shop windows and doors, stay firm on your feet, move with the flow and be able to move in a safe direction. Should you be mistaken by the police security forces as a demonstrator and get arrested, do exactly as they say and do not resist. All good advice. Some of that you would call gray man. Try to blend in without participating. Try to keep a low profile. Try to separate yourself from the situation. So I think that's all good advice. Driving into a protest, stop, right? Don't run people over. Don't gun the engine. Don't draw attention to yourself walking through a protest. You find yourself surrounded by civil unrest. Just try to keep a low profile. Try to get out safely. So wanted to throw that out there. I thought it was good advice for the rest of us that cannot afford private security. Something we should know, something you should look at, something you should be aware of. I had a friend in Wisconsin who happened to have a massive unrest outside his house, and he was a little terrified and not sure how to respond. He did say that calling the police wasn't going to do anything. If they break into your car, they break into your car. If they break your windows, they break your windows. It becomes a very dangerous situation very quickly. Best response on anything like that is plan ahead and think about how you're going to defend yourself, defend your family, and under which situations you would. So, as always, hope that helps out. Thank you for watching, and we appreciate you.